Hello there, my name's Peter Thompson and this is one of my Myths of Golf series, and the Myths of Golf are everywhere in magazines, YouTube, and unless you know what the myths are, that will give you a real problem in learning how to make a proper golf swing. A good swing for your particular physique. This myth is about connection. I've been teaching now for 54 years this year, and I've heard the word connection so many times I've almost forgotten how many times it is. The connection thing is this. Goes along the lines of you've got to remain connected throughout the swing. Well, the way that's interpreted is this: you stay connected and everything stays joined together, locked together, moving together, staying connected. That isn't going to work. I'm going to prove it. Yes, you are connected. Your entire body is connected to every other part, but it doesn't mean it's got to move together. It doesn't mean it's got to move in the same direction. Your arms can move this way. My knees are moving. Yes, they're connected from here down to here, but they're not moving. Or if I move my hips round, then my shoulders turn round and my arms can move away. So yes, they're connected, but not in the way most people think. I see people practicing with towels under their arms. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm going to show you on my computer screen in a couple of minutes how some of the best golfers who've ever lived could not ever hit the ball with a towel under their arms. Sometimes under both arms, people have taught. Stay connected. Connect this bit to this bit. Connect this bit to this bit. Connection. No one I teach, after a while, thinks along those lines. Maybe you do. I hope you don't. If you don't believe in connection and you think your arms need to move freely in the swing, then there's no point in watching the rest of this DVD. Hopefully you don't believe in connection, but most people do. Let's look at my screen and I'm going to show you about this connection thing. Let's start off with the current #1 golfer. #1 male golfer. Dustin Johnson. This is May 2018 and he's currently the #1 golfer. And a brilliant golfer. My goodness me, he's brilliant. Can hit the ball long distances. I don't have a swing on my screen, but I don't want to, because you can see in the picture on the left, he's moving his arms away from his body, not staying connected. You can see at the top of the screen, his right elbow is nowhere near his body. There's a huge big gap. You would not get probably even a handkerchief under there, let alone a towel or a head cover, because he's not staying connected. His arms are moving round, his arms are moving upwards, his body's turning around. It's a free-flowing golf swing. Yes, you are connected, but you're not going to move everything round together in one lump. So let's look at somebody else. Jim Furyk. Now, people often say, yes, but you don't copy his swing, do you? He's got a very strange swing. Well, I would say the opposite. Jim Furyk has won 17 pro tournaments, including the US Open in 2003. Jim Furyk was one of a handful of people to have gone around a full-length golf course in a tournament in 59 shots. A couple of years ago, he had a gross 58. Now imagine that, a gross 58. One of my pupils had a gross 59 once, which was phenomenal. Another one had a gross 60. But Jim Furyk had a gross 59 and a gross 58. So he's brilliant. Let's look at his swing. Now look at his right elbow. And look at the huge big gap between his arms and his body, because he's got a free flowing arm swing combined with a body turn. So yes, he is connected, but he's not staying connected as people think he should do. And swinging down, body turning, arm swing down, arm swing through. Fantastic. If he was staying connected, as people think he should be staying connected, watch his arms. So his arms are now, his hands are above his head, and now his shoulders have turned round to face the target. If he was connected, his arms would now be pointing down the fairway, but they're not. Now they are. Look at those big gaps in here. Please don't try and stay connected, because that isn't what they're doing. So, Jack Nicklaus, best golfer ever. And he won 18 major championships, and he's been told all of his life, look Jack, you've got a flying right elbow, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. And Jack could have replied, but he didn't, because he's too much of a gentleman. He could have said, hold on you guys, I've won 18 major championships with a flying right elbow, maybe you should try it. Look at his hands are now just in the middle of his thighs. And now his hands are above his head, so they started off down here, and they've now gone up there. And look at this gap in here, his right elbow. He's got a flying right elbow. I've listened to people for a long time saying Jack Nicklaus, flying right elbow, big bad fault. How can it be a fault? How can you win so many tournaments as he has done and become the best golfer ever as he has done with a so-called major fault in his swing? You need movement. Turn, lift your arms, movement. Fantastic. Let's look at somebody else now who's been phenomenally good. Bobby Jones. Where's he gone? Bobby Jones. This was a long time ago, 1920s, 1930s. Bobby Jones was so good at playing golf that when he was 28, he stopped playing golf. He retired, didn't play any more competitive golf, age 28, because he'd won as an amateur. He was an amateur golfer. He won the US Open 4 times, beating all the pros. He won the US Amateur 5 times, beating all the amateurs. He won the British Open 3 times, beating all the pros, won the British Amateur once, and he was only 28 when he achieved all those things. So he just said, well, how do I improve? Can't improve, so he then retired. Watch his arms. Big gap in there, no connection. His hands, again, with my Jack Nicklaus, opposite the middle of the thighs at address. Turning round, lifting his arms, and his hands now are above the top of his head. No connection. Turning, lifting, turning, lifting. superb golf swing. John Jacobs, famous teacher, English teacher, he said in the understanding of the golf swing there are two key fundamentals. One is the shoulders turn round, which is dead right, and the arms lift up, which is dead right. But the arms lift higher than the turn, proving again the connection theory simply won't work. One of my pupils, Liz, on the European tour, got down to +3, +4 before she turned pro. And again, there's this so-called flying right over. Fantastic. Body turns, hips turn, shoulders turn, arms fly up, arms fly down, and there is no connection. You're going to move your hands in the backswing away from your body to give yourself as wide arc as you possibly can. Well, if you tie in your arms and stay connected to your shoulders, you can't get that arc. A little clip head. You can move right up towards the camera now. Arms moving away from the body. Arms lifting up. Again, hands above the head. No connection. So when I teach people to play golf, I have no opinions whatsoever about how to play golf. I spent a long time watching how good golfers play golf, the best golfers in the world, and I look at what they do, and they all have common denominators, and I try and use those common denominators in my golf lessons. Connection. Bit of a myth, really. In fact, it's a lot of a myth. Watch my arms. Watch the club head. That, according to most people, will be a pretty decent takeaway, because my hands that are now just inside my left heel are now outside my right heel by quite a long way. There. From this angle, body turns, arms push out. No connection. Now I'll do a connected turn, a connected backswing. So now I'm going to keep my right arm stuck to my chest, my left arm stuck to my chest. And I'll turn around as far as I can. So now I'm there. Watch the hands. Club parallel to the ground, hands about here. Now watch the hands, turn around, push out, and the hands now are right over here. Which one do you think is going to work best? Have a think. Think about width of the swing. What's wider? That one? Or the connection thing and that one? The answer is obvious. You can't make your swing wider, but you can make it narrower, and the best way to do that, if you want to, which you probably don't, is to stay connected. Don't do it. Push your arms out as you turn round. Again, from this angle, the camera now, the club head is pointing at the camera, and one of my top tip DVDs is Hide the Shaft. Well, that's hiding the shaft. Now we'll do the connection thing. See the shaft now? Look how narrow it is. Then what are we going to do? We're stuck. Just stuck. Arms. Turn. Arms. Turn. No connection. Let's look at a few more swings on my computer screen, and then maybe I can convince you that you simply don't want to have this connection thing. One of the best golfers ever, Tiger Woods. I like this particular shot because it's camera's low down, nice silhouette, and we can see what we need to see. So his hands now, again, it's obvious, but they're opposite his thighs. Now watch. And they're lifting up. That's where they are. Now they're going up, over the top of his head. And again, with all the best golfers we've seen, look at this. There is no connection. He's not keeping his arms tucked into his rib cage. I'll draw a line on the shaft, and if he stayed connected, then the shaft will go back on that line. But he won't, because his arms are lifting. That's why the club head's lifted away from the ground, his hands are gone above the line, the club head now is off the top of the screen, and his hands are above his head. Had Tiger Woods had a connected backswing, you would never would have heard of Tiger Woods. But he didn't, thank God. Arms move away, body turns round. One of my favourite golfers coming up now, Tom Watson. Tom Watson won the Open, was it 8 major championships, I think. Lots and lots and lots. This is one of them. And this is a wonderful free-flowing swing. Watch this. Watch the shaft on the line. Look at his hands. And way above his head. No connection. Go back to the beginning again. The shaft is going to come down below the line, so he's got this big turn to start with, and his hands that are now opposite his thighs here, they're now above his head. So they were down here and they're now there. How do they get there? They lifted. Body turns, arms lift. No connection. Coming down, look at his arms moving right away from his body. Look. No connection. Fantastic. Look at the space. Look at the freedom. Someone replied to my website recently, and they said they like my lessons because I show people doing what I'm suggesting people should do. I've been on YouTube hundreds of times, and I watch people giving lessons, and they hardly ever show people doing things that they're asking you to do. I do the opposite. If every golfer in the world had this connection takeaway, which is that one, I'd teach you that, but they don't. If everybody in the world had their head dead still when they play golf, I'd teach you that. I'm interested in getting my pupils to play better, and they certainly do. One young man's gone down from 23 down to 1 in just over 3 years. Another of my pupils shot a gross 59, as I mentioned earlier on. Another one shot a gross 60, and that's done by getting them to think about the golf swing as the golf swing really is, rather than the myths. Please don't try and swing and stay connected. Please think about the arms are moving away from your body, which they are. We've just proved it. Your arms are moving away from your body and your body's turning round. Body turns, arms move away. This club head is now more or less hitting the net in the studio. If I stay connected, it's more than 12 inches away. Please do not stay connected. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much.